This is Paul Kelly for ESBR Boxing, joined by the victorious Conor Quinn. Conor, back to winning ways. How did it feel to get it back out there?
Yeah, delighted. Obviously, it's been a long time out of the ring, so I'm just happy to get back in and get back on the horse. It's a great night of boxing, and I'm glad to be part of it.
Absolutely. Obviously, you were in against an opponent, who was just there to maybe try and just survive, which he did. Went to 6 rounds. What's it like fighting in there against someone like that? Ryan says, Ryan Burnett said, you're not going to really see much in terms of your development in fights like that. But it was a matter if you did have to get back in the ring. So what was it like being in there with someone like that?
Yeah, no, obviously, like you say, he's just sort of there to survive, and I don't want to show any disrespect to him because, to be honest, I was obviously meant to box someone else, a good kid, 10-1, and there was trouble with his visa at the start of the week, and thankfully Sean Jackson stepped in last second because a lot of people turned the fight down, and like I said, I don't want to discredit him in any way, but it is hard. I feel like in my own sort of career, I'm past that point, and you're in there and you're trying to find openings, you're trying to get them to sort of throw back at you and leave themselves open, and obviously he's crafty enough not to do that, but I think as the round went on, I was sort of just on the verge of maybe getting him out of there, and it is what it is. Obviously, like I said, I don't want to show any disrespect because he's vital and a lot of people's careers on the way up, but for me now it's just about moving on to bigger and better things.
Absolutely. I was talking to Ryan, obviously, and he said as well that it's kind of the way you look at it, but you were coming in off your first defeat, first fight together. What was that like? Was there anything in the back of your mind, having been beaten there last time out, about I really need to get back to winning ways? Did you want did you put yourself under too much pressure or anything, or how was that kind of mentality wise?
No, to be honest now, I think, listen, obviously my first defeat as a professional, but I took many as an amateur and straight back in, and you just have to sort of put it in the past. But I think that the best thing about tonight was getting the experience with Ryan in the corner, and normally if I was boxing someone like that in the past, I would have done my own thing and probably just tried to blast him out of there and wouldn't have really got nothing out of it, and probably would just get tangled up in the process. So it was good to listen to Ryan. He was telling me to stay calm, giving me specific instructions and things to work on, and the first couple of rounds he was telling me not even to throw shots, just make him faint and make him look silly, and then the shots will come in the end, and to be honest it did. I found a home for the right uppercut as the round went on, and he actually says to me, he says at the start he felt like he could take his shots, and then as it went on it got a lot tougher, which is exactly what I want to hear, because I'm a 12-round fighter now, and you don't want to be starting fast 1, 2 and 3 and then fading. You want to be sort of working your way in the fights and then finishing strong.
And what has that period been like since moving over to Ryan's gym? I mean, I'm sure it's been amazing for you. Charles was saying it's the same thing. It's brilliant. You're buzzing for training every day, and just learning off someone with so much experience and who achieved so much in his career.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, it was just a time in my career where I felt the change was needed, and to be honest, I couldn't have really asked for a better change. Going into the gym every day, I'm working with a unified world champion. First and foremost, I'm a massive boxing fan, so if I could sit in a room with someone at that level and just talk to them for an hour, I'd be happy, never mind to be getting coached and guided by them. So it's really, really, really comforting, and sort of you go in there with, like you were saying there, do you have any doubts or anything like that? That's all wiped away when you have someone like that in your corner telling you what to do.
Absolutely. He also mentioned that something like a British title, he said it's a must for you this year. A title fight is something that he really wants for you. Is that what you're looking at now?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I know a lot of the titles in the flyweight division are wrapped up, but there's international belts, there's the EBU silver, and titles like that are something I really have my eye on now in my next fight, and get myself a good ranking, and then once one of the majors become available, we're straight to the ring, the box for it.
Obviously boxing on one of Mark's cards tonight on the BBC, but signed to Queensberry. Do you feel that now now that you've won this, got back to winning ways, you want to fight maybe as soon as possible on one of these bigger Queensberry shows?
Yeah, 100%. Obviously thanks to Mark for being able to keep me busy, and obviously like you said, I'm promoted by Queensberry, so the next step will be boxing on one of their shows, and obviously when things get in the boxing world, as a flyweight, there's not too many of us around, and it's hard to get opponents, and it's hard to get titles and things like that with financial costs and everything that comes with it. So, I think it's only right now to go back on the Queensberry shows, start getting the big fights that they deserve, and we'll push on from there.
Is there any names that you have your sights set on?
No names, to be honest. Just anyone that has a belt and wants to defend it, or anyone that wants to fight for a vacant title. I'm here, and I think boxing should be going down that road now, where we all just fight each other, and the best goes on, the loser rebuilds.
Absolutely, and ideal 2025. We've got back to winning ways now, early doors, but 1st of February. When do you want to fight next? Say by sitting down to have your Christmas dinner in 2025, what do you want to have achieved this year?
Yeah, listen, I want to fight as soon as possible, and by the end of the year I want to be touching the world title. Like I said, I feel like I've been knocking on the door at that sort of fringe world level for a while now. You can stay there too long, you can maybe go stale. I want to push on. I want to get some international titles, some international rankings. I've got really good rankings in the EBU and obviously on BoxRec and stuff like that, but I'm not in any of the actual governing bodies, so I feel like I should pick one of them belts up and start pushing towards the sort of world level now.
Absolutely. Well, Conor, Quinn, back to winning ways. Thanks very much for speaking to ESBR Boxing as always, and I'll chat to you again soon.
Thank you very much.